Nepal from becoming a totally communist country. In 2009, 2008, when was Father's helicopter crash? 8 or 9? 2008. Nepal had just had their first election. A year later, now they were going to elect the president. The prime minister, who was the largest political party, was a Maoist, a communist. And they had a candidate. There was one candidate for the Maoist, a communist candidate, and one Democratic candidate. There was a runoff, and these were the final two. And it was very, very close. They needed 300 votes out of 600, something like 301 votes. And so the head of the Democratic Party called our national leader, who was the head of our family party, called him into his home, his private home. Still, it's too busy. He said, "Come with me." They went inside his bedroom. No one was there. And he said, "Eknath," because he's much older and Eknath is younger, "I have one question. Do you want Nepal to be a communist country or a democratic country?" And Eknath said, "Democratic." So the leader of the Democratic Alliance said, "Okay, I'm a big party, but you're a small party. I want you to get the small parties together and vote as one bloc and get me as many votes as you can." So he brought the parties together. We got a coalition of 10 votes. And the Democratic presidential candidate won by 4 votes. That same day, Father's helicopter crash happened in Korea. So I have a whole presentation to show the linkage between Nepal and Korea. It's astounding. This is one of them. When Father came to Nepal on his tour, 2005, the same day that Father gave his speech to launch UPF, exactly the same day, the people that have been fighting for more than a decade came together and signed an MOU. All the political parties came together and said, "We want peace." The same day that Father came to Nepal and spoke. There's many correlations. Helicopter crashes. Nepal and Korea are they're kind of like linked together. So in Korea, Father's helicopter crash was a life and death situation. Without shedding blood, life was saved. We say the same thing in Nepal. This political process between communism and democracy was a life and death situation. Without shedding blood, they couldn't dominate. Even by Bolshevism, who was the middle of parliament at that time. So we went through everything. We went through, this is the pair system principle, we went through spirit world, we went through human responsibility, we went through purpose of life, we went through the fall of man, we went through restoration, and we even went through history. So we had to develop an entire new history, not entirely, we had to build on the history that Father had and look, where is the history of Buddhism in this central history, what we call it correlate history. Where is the history of Islam? Where is the history of Hinduism? And we were able to bring them in, so people are quite excited. When we teach the fall of man, your specific question, we don't teach it simply as sexuality, which it is. But prior to that was a mind-body problem. Adam and Eve lost the vertical alignment with God. Now Father's even clarified that we have to go back not just before the fall, but go back before the temptation when Adam and Eve were like 14 years old. But anyway, the first part of the problem was this mind-body problem or lack of faith. And so we build on that. We say all religions kind of recognize this. If you look at Christianity, it was a lack of faith. If you look at Buddhism, they say it was, selfish craving. If you look at Hinduism, they call that spiritual ignorance. What did the individual do that was wrong? And we say, okay, all religions somehow look at the individual and say there's a big problem there. What Father movement does is says that problem of the individual is actually multiplied, and then look at the human sexuality problem. And we bring in lots and lots of Hindu quotes.
But you do this like that, that's level 4
and you're quoting the Bible and you're teaching in Christianity. So every time there's a Bible verse, then there's a Quran verse, the Matthias, Dhammapada, Bhagavad Gita, the Jain tradition, the Arya Granth, and Confucianism. We try and have all of them together. We quote one, we quote 6. Or we don't quote them at all and let the principle stand by itself. So we've gone through the whole principle, 24 lectures like that. Yes. Next question was here, sorry.
Two questions. First one
edition of it every week. Here is an event. The Prime Minister of Nepal went